Welcome back to Life in Review. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. A rose between thorns. Automatically, that brings a picture in your mind of something. Oh gosh, my mind goes in so many different directions of what that could possibly mean. And it's actually a film. It's named the official selection to debut at the 2020 American Black Film Festival. It is a movie. Caribbean filmmaker and director Nigel Lewis is showcasing this groundbreaking narrative about a young girl finding hope through dance. And there's also one of the people who was involved in part of writing the script, August. Is it Augustine?
Yeah,
Oh,
everything.
I'm
Yeah.
saying it correct. Augustine Fernandez on the phone with us. Good morning, Augustine.
Good morning, Josefa. How are you?
I'm fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Loving the fact that I am speaking with you this morning because I love writing. It's actually my passion. And to see someone else who is a writer and has done this film, tell me about this film, what it's all about, and why we would want to watch it.
Well, gosh, for me, it's so special and so important. I met Nigel in St. Kitts, small Caribbean nation, 50,000 people. Only really had its independence for I think in the 70s, very short time. This is the first film ever made in St. Kitts and Nevis, the first ever Kittitian film. And when I met Nigel, he and his friend James Galloway had this story they wanted to tell that's based on true events, as they told it to me. And it really blew me away. I had to sort of get involved and write the script and help them get this movie done. Everyone in the picture, from the crew to the actors, are all first time filmmakers, but the story is just really powerful. We started filming this in 2016. Actually, it took that long to get it together and edit it and do the color correction. But you know, Nigel's a really talented young filmmaker. He made a bunch of music videos, and I thought he wanted to pitch me a story about I don't know what usually young men want to tell stories about.
Right?
But but instead it was a story of a young girl they knew who was being abused by her father, and the consequences of that abuse. It was such a thoughtful and powerful story, and one of the executives we work with here, Juliana, knows these stories personally, and we just got behind it. It's so different than any other movie we've ever made. I wrote the script. I went and spent a couple of months in St. Kitts with them, just wrote the script, and then we just financed it out of our pocket. It's not even like the regular movies we do. It's just a movie we had to make, and it's so great to see it now getting recognition at these festivals because it's a very important and powerful story, I think. And I'm so proud of them, what they did. I mean, I didn't know what they would do, all first time filmmakers, but such incredible talent coming out of there.
Wow, what a testimony that this movie actually is with first time filmmakers, a story like this coming out and perhaps maybe healing or allowing
Yeah,
conversation to start with
absolutely.
maybe people who have gone through something similar. I mean, it can lead in so many directions. Is that your hope?
I mean, that is the hope. I was born on a Caribbean island as well, and there's this feeling that it's not true, but a lot of us in the Caribbean feel like we're blocked in by the ocean, right? And I think the idea that Niger could dream past that and say, I want to make a movie. No one in my country's made a movie. There's no film industry. We had to buy the cameras. We had to bring everything in. Didn't even have the right sound equipment. But the fact that he could dream that big and that we could help him in whatever way we could. Yeah, if we can, so much this movie could do. It could definitely start the conversations about this super important topic. And I'll tell you a story if you give me a moment
Of
right after this.
course.
But it can also open the door for an entire industry for a whole country that's burgeoning now. It's a country, really proud people, really talented people, and this is really the first for the film industry in that country. So there's been movies that have gone there to film there. The only four seasons in the Caribbean is in Nevis, which is St. Kitts and Nevis, and productions will go and shoot a nice, beautiful Caribbean beach, and there are tourist areas, but there's the local area that nobody ever goes to, and this is their voice for the first time ever. It's incredible.
And where is St. Kitts?
It's next to St. Thomas and St. Martin's. It's in
Okay.
the Eastern Caribbean. It's what it's called. So if you go
Okay.
past, I'm Latino, but so we know Cuba, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. You keep going down the tail in the Eastern Caribbean, and you get to the Grenadines and Trinidad and Tobago. It's a really small two-island nation, and discovered it purely by chance. I was going to scuba dive, and on my trips back and forth from the island, and I met Nigel once. He said, "Hey, he had looked me up. He said, I want to make this movie," and I said, "Sure." And I left, and I was coming back for just a trip that I was making, but I was going to meet with him too. And the planes to this islands are generally empty. There's not many people that go there. There's either very wealthy people that go, or there's the locals. And then there's medical schools. There's more people should go. It's a beautiful island. But I was on the plane. It was nearly empty, and I sat next to a lady that was going to go work there. And I don't know if the government wants me to share this. The government is saying kids, but this is the true story, so I'll share it. And I say to her, we start talking, and she says, "Yeah, I'm going to go work at the jail." And I said, "Jail? But is there any crime in St. Kitts? I've never even seen crime on the island. It's so amazing. I didn't even know there was a jail. It's that small of an island, There's no traffic lights on the island, by the way, none at all."
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful place. And she says, "Yeah, there isn't much crime, but what there is there's an issue with, some child molestation, like some child abuse." And I was like, "Oh my God." So she was a psychologist that was coming to work with the children, and she schooled me on, like, there's this one issue that happens, like it happens everywhere. It's a horrible issue. And I, really, it was just serendipity that she explained this issue for me, that she was coming in from Australia to work with the children. And when I land, Nigel tells me the story that he wants to tell, and it's like,
Wow.
This is based on someone we know, and I was like, oh my God, I have to make this movie. I mean, and to that point, I didn't know that I was going to make it. Oftentimes kids are like, hey, a lot of young filmmakers want to make movies, and we can't always make all the movies, But this one, I knew we had to make.
Wow. I mean, yeah, talk about a coincidence. And I'm going to give you an even bigger one now. My mother recently passed away, and one of her wishes was that I take some of her ashes and take them to the Caribbean, because it was somewhere that she and I had always talked about going. I've taken her to Europe, and, I've traveled all over Europe. I've been to Egypt and several places, and have never been to the Caribbean. So we were talking about that. She said, let's go. We never made it there. And so one of the things that we talked about before she died was me taking her ashes and going there. And I was thinking, where am I going to go? I've never been. I mean, I've been to, Puerto Rico and Costa Rica, things like that, but not any of those islands.
Right.
And now I know where I'm going.
Oh, well, you should go there. And I mean, I have a lot of great friends there. I'm sure they'll receive you, and I'll make a call. Just call me anytime.
I'm going to St. Kitts. That's where I'm going to. I'm going to walk out into the ocean in St. Kitts and pour. I just have, her ashes for that will just be in this little tiny little, it's just a little bit of the ashes, not all of them, and just put them out there and let her be free. And
that's beautiful. I got goose pimples actually when you told me that story. I really did. It's beautiful. Yeah, and definitely go, and I think she'll love it. There's two sides. St. Kitts borders the Atlantic and the Caribbean side, So the Caribbean side is super calm, and the Atlantic side is a little bit more tempestuous.
No, I want
it's an amazing place to
I want the Caribbean side. That's the
side
I want.
That's where everybody goes. Yeah.
Yeah. I want it to be nice and calm. I don't want to get out there and have a wave take me under. So yeah.
No, yeah.
So
I mean, I've been to both. It's nice.
So talk to me a little bit more about St. Kitts and about the filming process when you get to this island where they've never had done anything like this, and you're going around and you got to bring everything in. Were a lot of the people from St. Kitts incorporated into the movie?
We only used locals, only, and that was a decision we made early on. I think when I spoke to Nigel, the budget on this is minuscule. And, I'm embarrassed to even say it, but the reason it was like that, it was one, because I financed it myself, and I don't have any money, but second, because I didn't want the pressure of it having to make money.
Right.
I mean, I've been working in the film industry for a while, and a lot of the choices we make as artists, a lot of times have to do with money. And that's not necessarily the choices for art. So I said to Nigel, look, if we're going to do this, it's going to be low. It's only going to be what I can afford to pay. And then there's no pressure. If it never makes money, I don't care. Let's just tell this story, and let's not use any name. We talked about some names we could bring in, other Caribbean names. but we just said, let's just do all locals, all local, everything. I was the only one because I wrote the script. It was really important for me to do that. And then, Nigel, of course, did his director's pass, and the story was from James. Um, but then it's like everybody, and I have a very good friend there who's now in Korea. He's another young man I have to name, Avery Liebert, who was the director of photography. Like, just such a brilliant young man. And he since moved to New York. I helped him out in New York a little bit with some work. Then I got him a job in Korea at my friend's animation company. And to me, that's already the success out of this movie. Although Nigel, I think, will have a great career. But that was the idea, and that was the process. It should all be locals, only honest and true to the story. And let's make it with the resources we have so that we don't have to pull anything else that's going to put pressure on the art. Just art,
Wow.
And yeah, it was great. So, Nigel filmed for a long time. Then he would send me footage, and we would look at it, and we'd go, look, get some more footage of this or get footage of that. There were images that, I had seen on the island that I thought would be good to shoot, and we would watch a cut again. It really was a luxury. Like, you don't make movies like this, and you don't get to reshoot for 3 years every weekend. There's a lot of course, you have no money. Everybody has a regular job or has to go to school. You're shooting
Right.
on weekends. People are growing. The young people are changing their hair or whatever. There are challenges, but you also have the luxury to just take your time with, for these young people to really learn and explore. And like I said, if everyone out of this movie gets a career, that's the goal, really, and the success that they can keep going.
And also this tremendous story that is told. I'm going to read here a little description of the movie. It's the emotional struggle of a young girl's journey to find happiness despite her violent family life. A rose between thorns follows Rose, who uses dance as a means of escape from the pain caused by her abusive family. Her boyfriend, Antonio, is on his mother's destructive path of alcoholism and violence. Her older brother is in jail, no positive role models. Antonio's future is bleak. Together, Rose and Antonio search to escape their harsh reality, to find their courage and follow their dreams. This sounds like such an amazing movie. Now, I know the film festival isn't going to be as normal as the film festivals usually are. We're talking about the American Black Film Festival. Is there anywhere that people can see? I know it's abff.com, where a lot
I
of
think
this
they can see it on IMDb as well. They're like co-sponsoring it.
Oh, so we'll be able to see both of these movies. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
in both of these
Both,
places.
yeah. There's a link on IMDb and an IPFF that you can watch the movie. I think, too bad I didn't get all the kids on a red. I call them kids, but they're all great, talented adults on a red carpet. They really deserve it. But I think there'll be more festivals and more times, and we're just so proud to premiere at the ABFF. It's an amazing festival, and yeah, you can see it at ABFF. And I'll say it's, there are hard moments in the movie. It's a difficult story, to write and to make, and harder on the actors, of course, but it's really worthwhile to watch because it's an important topic.
Now, when you were writing this script, from a male, you're a male, so you wrote it, but you were writing about this incredible struggle that this young woman went through. Talk to me about how it made you feel.
I mean, I detached from it because I didn't want to get too personal into, my feelings. I try to really portray the feelings of the characters. And so when you ask me that question, I think back, I almost want to say I didn't have feelings. I was trying to get, their feelings through. But I did spend a lot of time on the island, spoke to a lot of survivors, and try to just be honest with their story, So, gosh, it still makes me feel horrible when you watch it. Some of the moments you just, the gentleman who played the father is actually, I think he's a doctor on the island. He's really a great actor and a great guy. But when you watch this movie, you want to kill this guy. I mean, you just do.
Right.
And I've watched it 50 times, and I every time want to kill him. And, it's a testament to his talent. But he's just a monster in the film. The character is. So the feeling is always anger, and the feeling is always this has to be, solved, and it's got to stop. And hopefully this can start the conversation,
Well, hopefully, as a result of this movie, maybe there will be some gatherings of cast members and, yourself, and maybe grab some psychologists and do a big Zoom call and invite the world to come in and discuss this. because this
That would
is
be
some,
amazing, actually. That is amazing. So, the producer at our company that led it, she's a female, and I'll let her tell her own story. I mean, she had a lot of input on it too, and I don't want to tell her story, but I know that this is a subject that's close to her, and it's something that she'd be really excited to lead because it's an important topic. And I mean, I don't even know how it can happen. When I can't process it as a human. As an artist, I'm just a vessel to get these stories out, and I
Right.
try to do that and let Nigel be the artist that tells his, makes his movie, and I can help him make his movie, and Rose do her acting, But I just don't. I can't even fathom it as a person. It's crazy.
Right. Well, if there's anything that I can do to help you lead a massive Zoom where this is a discussion and bring in some experts that could maybe help walk some people through this. There might be people who need to hear that don't want to participate, but they've been through it, which a lot of times this is something that, if you have been through this kind of an abusive relationship as a young woman, it's something that you keep very private and you don't tell anyone, but it haunts you for your entire life. So maybe this movie can help people find that conversation. Again, the movie is A Rose Between Thorns, named official selection to debut at the 2020 American Black Film Festival. ABFF.com is where you can go to see a lot of these films, August 21st through the 30th. And the best of the ABFF Awards ceremony will be live streamed on IMDb on their homepage on the final night on August 30th. And it's definitely, talk about a grouping of amazing films. But this one, we have a special, special connection to Augustine Fernandez, producer and screenwriter of this film. Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us. A Rose Between Thorns, again, is the movie. And I will make sure that I put links to this up on all my social media pages. It's definitely a must-see. And hopefully it will open a conversation that will continue and allow if you haven't ever experienced anything like this or known anyone who has, to give you some awareness of what's going on. And you just a lot of times don't even realize that the person sitting right next to you may very well have gone through something like this and just never, ever talked about it. So it's definitely something that we can all talk about. But Augustine, continued success to you. I'm just so incredibly impressed with everything that you have done to make this film happen, especially using all local talent. That's almost unheard of in filmmaking.
Yeah, well, they deserve it. They're very talented, and thank you, Josefa. You're a hero for supporting us. But all the credit should go to the people at the island who made the film. I'm proud to have done a part. I wish somebody would have come pluck me out when I was. And said, "Hey, make the movie you want," so I'm glad to be able to pay it forward,
Oh, that is so amazing. Well, please make sure that you have a home right here. Anytime you have anything you want to talk about or tell us about or that you're working on, please come back and see us. And just know this in your heart, that because of our conversation today, I finally know, because I've been really just struggling with where am I going to take my mother's ashes. She really wanted to be at sea. We had talked about the Caribbean, but I've never been. Where am I going to go? I don't want to go to a commercial place and just, but
go there. I
I
will hook you up with my friends who are locals. And it'll be transcending. It's beautiful. It's just so beautiful and just clean there.
I
mean the people. Yep. I don't mean the water only, because the water in the Caribbean is beautiful everywhere, but the people are just amazing.
I can't wait, because that's the exact experience that I was looking for, and now I know my mother will be at sea in St. Kitts, thanks to Augustine Fernandez.
Thank you, Josefa.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And again, know that you got a home right here. Anytime you have anything to talk about, you come back and see us.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
And that's how we're wrapping up today. I'm Josefa Salinas. Thank you so much for being with me this morning. As you head out into your week, stay strong, stay focused. Most of all, stay informed. Make sure you take a moment as you're out. Catch the eyes of someone you don't know. Maybe just let them see you smile through those eyes, since we're all behind masks right now. Say hello to a stranger. Call a friend you haven't talked to in a long time. Call a loved one that maybe you haven't stayed in contact with the way you should have. Or if you've handled all of those things, take some time to just be good to you today. I'll see you soon.